Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the annals of time, uncovering the secrets of our collective past. Today, we find ourselves on the shores of the New World, surrounded by the whispers of mystery and the allure of the unknown, as we delve into the enigmatic tale of the Lost Roanoke Colony. As we set foot on this fascinating path, let us first grasp the essence of this captivating story. The Lost Roanoke Colony, a settlement that has become synonymous with intrigue and disappearance, was established on an island in what is now Dare County, North Carolina, in the late 16th century. This colony, named after the Roanoke River, which flowed gently through the landscape like a lifeblood, was the brainchild of English explorers who sought to carve out a new home in the uncharted territories of the Americas. To understand the origins of this ill-fated settlement, we must journey back to the year 1584, when Sir Walter Raleigh, a renowned English explorer and privateer, secured a charter from Queen Elizabeth I to establish an English colony in North America. This marked the beginning of a new era in English exploration, as Raleigh sought to challenge the dominance of Spain in the New World. On March 25, 1584, Raleigh sent an expedition led by Philip Amatus and Arthur Barlow to explore the eastern coast of North America with the goal of finding a suitable location for an English settlement. The expedition arrived on the outer banks of present-day North Carolina in July 1584, where they encountered the Algonquian-speaking Croatan tribe. The English explorers were warmly received by the native inhabitants, and they spent several weeks learning about the local customs, geography, and resources. During this time, they also established friendly relations with Manteo, a Croatan native who would later become an ally of the English. In 1585, Raleigh sent another expedition to the New World, led by Sir Richard Grenville, who brought a group of colonists to establish a settlement on Roanoke Island. However, this initial attempt at colonization was short-lived, as the colonists struggled to adapt to the harsh conditions and conflicts with the native tribes arose. Despite these challenges, the English persevered, and in 1587, a new group of settlers arrived on the island, including women and children. One of the key figures involved in the development of the colony was John White, an English artist and cartographer who had accompanied the earlier expeditions to the New World. White was appointed as the governor of the colony and played a crucial role in establishing relations with the native tribes. He also created detailed maps and illustrations of the local flora and fauna, which would later become invaluable resources for historians. As we explore the earliest history of the Lost Roanoke Colony, we find ourselves immersed in a complex web of English politics, economic ambitions, and the relentless drive for exploration. The late 16th century was a time of great change and upheaval, with the English monarchy seeking to expand its influence across the globe. The establishment of the Roanoke Colony was just one part of this larger narrative, as England sought to establish a foothold in the New World and challenge the dominance of Spain. The colony's early years were marked by both promise and hardship, as the settlers struggled to adapt to their new environment and establish a sustainable food supply. Despite these challenges, the colonists persevered, and the settlement began to take on a more permanent character. And so, dear listeners, as we conclude our examination of the precursors and origins of the Lost Roanoke Colony, we find ourselves poised on the threshold of a new era, one that would be marked by hope, hardship, and ultimately, disappearance. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the enigmatic tale of the Lost Roanoke Colony. As the colony began to take shape, John White, the appointed governor, played a crucial role in establishing relations with the native tribes. He worked closely with Manteo, the Croatan native who had become an ally of the English, to foster a sense of cooperation and mutual understanding between the colonists and the indigenous population. This alliance was essential for the colony's survival, as it provided access to vital resources, such as food and knowledge of the local environment. One of the most significant events during this period was the birth of Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. On August 18, 1587, Eleanor Dare, John White's daughter, gave birth to a baby girl, whom they named Virginia, in honor of the Virginia Company and the new land they had settled. This event marked a significant milestone for the colony as it symbolized hope and new beginnings. However, despite these promising developments, the colony faced numerous challenges. The settlers struggled to adapt to the harsh conditions on the island, including sweltering heat, mosquitoes, and limited access to fresh water. They also encountered conflicts with other native tribes, who were wary of the English presence in their territory. These tensions would eventually boil over into violence, leading to a series of skirmishes and battles that would test the colony's resolve. In 1587, John White returned to England to gather more supplies and support for the colony. He left behind his daughter, Eleanor, and her newborn baby, Virginia, as well as the rest of the colonists. However, his return was delayed due to the English naval war against Spain, and he was unable to sail back to Roanoke until 1590. During White's absence, the colony faced extreme hardship and struggle. The settlers had to fend for themselves, relying on their limited resources and the support of their native allies. They also had to contend with the increasingly hostile attitude of other native tribes, who saw the English as a threat to their way of life. As we explore this pivotal period in the colony's history, it becomes clear that the settlers were facing an uphill battle. Despite their bravery and determination, they were ultimately fighting against the odds. The combination of harsh environmental conditions, limited resources, and hostile native tribes created a perfect storm that would eventually lead to the colony's downfall. And yet, despite these challenges, the colonists persevered, driven by their vision of a new life in the New World. They worked tirelessly to build their homes, clear the land, and establish a sustainable food supply. They also continued to explore their surroundings, mapping the coastline and discovering new waterways. The stage is set for the events that will lead to the colony's mysterious disappearance. Join me next as we uncover the final chapter in the tale of the Lost Roanoke Colony and explore the theories and legends that have grown up around this enduring mystery. Welcome back to History with Herodotus as we continue our journey through the enigmatic tale of the Lost Roanoke Colony. As John White finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, he was met with a scene of utter desolation. The colony was gone, and all that remained were the faint outlines of the fort and the houses they had built. The word Croatoan was carved into a tree, which some historians believe was a clue left by the colonists, indicating that they had moved to the nearby island of Croatoan, now known as Hatteras Island. However, despite extensive searches, no definitive evidence of the colony's fate has ever been found. Theories about the colony's disappearance have abounded over the years, ranging from attacks by native tribes to disease and environmental disasters. Some historians believe that the colonists may have been absorbed into the local Native American population, while others suggest that they may have perished in a hurricane or other natural disaster. Despite numerous investigations and excavations, the truth about the colony's fate remains a mystery. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Roanoke colony's story is the impact it had on the subsequent colonization of North America. The failure of the Roanoke colony served as a cautionary tale for later colonizers, who learned from the mistakes of their predecessors and adapted their strategies accordingly. For example, the successful colonization of Jamestown in 1607 was likely influenced by the lessons learned from the Roanoke colony's experiences. In recent years, archaeologists have made significant discoveries that shed new light on the colony's history. Excavations at the Fort Raleigh National Historic Site have uncovered evidence of the colony's presence, including artifacts such as pottery, tools, and even a few remnants of the fort itself. These findings provide a tangible connection to the past and offer a glimpse into the daily lives of the colonists. As we conclude our journey through the story of the Lost Roanoke Colony, we are reminded that history is often shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. Despite our best efforts to uncover the truth, some secrets may remain forever lost to the sands of time. And yet, it is precisely this enigma that continues to captivate us, inspiring new generations of historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts to explore the fascinating tale of the Lost Roanoke Colony. In a world where the past and present intersect, we find ourselves drawn to the stories of those who came before us, and the mysteries they left behind. Just as the discovery of ancient artifacts like the Uluburun shipwreck or the Antikythera mechanism continue to awe and inspire us, the story of the Lost Roanoke Colony serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring power of history to shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Join me next time on History with Herodotus as we explore more fascinating stories from the annals of history. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.